Guys, look how big this is. Like, I'm like 8 foot, right? I've got the wingspan of probably one of the biggest birds in the world, whatever that bird is. And I'm not exaggerating. But this really is the one time where size actually matters. So let's go back a bit. This is what my lounge used to look like. It was pretty much an empty shell, which is actually quite nice because it means I can really make it how I like. So the first TV I bought was actually the Samsung Serif. However, I bought this TV as a stopgap, as my intention was always to have this TV upstairs in my bedroom. I just had it in my living room until I found a TV suitable for the space. My lounge is quite big, so even at 65 inches, the Serif TV was just too small. So I did play around with the idea of having a projector, of course. It just makes a lot of sense, right? You can see a big white wall. Who wouldn't want a projector? The only issue is, in Dubai, there is a lot of natural sunlight. I have big windows here, as you can see behind me. So there's a lot of natural light coming in constantly all throughout the day. It's actually cloudy today, so it's usually brighter. And because of that, a projector just wouldn't make sense. I wouldn't be able to watch TV in the day whatsoever. And also setting up a projector, putting it on the ceiling, getting all the cabling, everything sorted, it was just a lot of work. So a TV made more sense. I've been searching for a large TV for a while, and I saw that Linus posted a video of the Hisense 110 UX, and I was gonna get that TV until I saw the price tag, because that TV was $20,000. I can't afford a $20,000 TV. Well, I say I can't afford it. I just don't want to spend $20,000 on a TV. Now, Linus actually got his TV for free, so he didn't pay for it either. But Hisense, if you guys want to send me that TV, let me know. You know, I'd love to have it in the space. Anyway, I was looking for what I could get for less than $5,000. What's the biggest TV I could get that could fit this space? And this is what I've got. After a ton of research and just looking at so many different options, I settled for the TCL C855. So they have a few different sizes. This is one of the biggest they do. This is 98 inches. It might as well be 100 inches, and look at it. It's just ginormous. And it looks amazing. It looks fantastic. I feel like the camera doesn't actually do it justice how big it is. By the way, this TV also weighed 60 kilos. Like, that's absurd. That's the weight of a human in a TV. That's just ridiculous. But anyway, because I'm as big as The Rock, you know, I set it up, no problem. But regardless, you're definitely going to need, if you're interested in this TV, you're definitely going to need 2 people to set it up, because it is ridiculously heavy. It's one heavy boy. Because my living room is pretty big, I have a big white wall, and I'll be sitting a couple meters away from my TV. I wanted something big, and finding TVs around 100 inches in size is actually harder than you think. One key feature with this TV is that it's mini LED. Now, of course, in a dream scenario, I would love to have OLED. I've had LG OLEDs in the past, and they're absolutely fantastic. They're brilliant. But getting an OLED at this size is near enough impossible, unless you want to spend $20,000, $30,000. Like, it's just ridiculous how much you need to spend to get an OLED at this size. And of course, mini LED TVs like this one get much, much brighter than an OLED. An OLED would be nice if it was in like a cinema room, in a room that didn't get much natural sunlight, but in a room like this, mini LED just makes a lot of sense, and it's why I had to settle for it. One key feature with this TV, and it's probably the most important feature and why I chose it over an OLED, is the brightness. It goes up to 3,500 nits in brightness, which is just outrageous. Like, it's hard to explain how bright that is. For comparison, the LG C4, which is a very popular, very well regarded OLED TV, probably one of the most popular OLED TV lines that you can get right now, that does 1,000 nits in brightness. This does 3,500. Like, the difference is literally is night and day. Like, there is no other way to say it. However, something which a lot of people make the mistake of thinking is that nits are measured in a linear scale. 3,500 nits is not actually 3.5 times brighter than 1,000 nits. It's actually around 1.5 times brighter, but it still makes an absolutely huge difference, and I have no issues with watching this TV in the day with the bright Dubai sunlight beaming into my living room. The downside of mini LED is, of course, you have far fewer dimming zones compared to an OLED TV. This has 2,160 different dimming zones, and to be honest, when watching content, I don't even notice the fewer dimming zones unless I have an image on the TV which has a very small bright spot compared to the rest of the image. So for example, if you were to look at a star in a black sky, that's only when you would notice it. But how often do movies actually have shots like that? Generally, you won't even notice. The only time I notice any blooming is really in extreme examples. Like I said, when you have something that's super bright and white on the TV against a black background, that's the only time you're really going to see blooming. Or maybe you have really bright subtitles or something like that. But generally, when you're watching content, there isn't actually that much content that has such a large range of contrast. I also can't even describe how bright this TV is. Recording it on camera does not do it justice. It's so bright that legit, it actually hurts my eyes. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I have to squint to watch the TV. I've had to turn down the brightness on the TV. I don't think I've ever had that experience with any other TV. Yeah, it is just ridiculous how bright it gets. When there's a movie with a bright object like the sun, or there's an explosion and a flash, it just looks insane. I wish I had recorded my first reaction when I set this TV up. Like, I wish I had set it up, sat on the sofa, and you guys could have just seen, because I couldn't believe it. Like, it was just insane. At this sort of size as well, it really does feel like more of a cinematic experience, and that's what I'm aiming for. I want to feel like I've got my own small cinema in my living room. I now really look forward to watching movies going from cinema to digital download so that I can watch them in this setup in bright HDR glory. And of course, it supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. However, it specifically also has Dolby Vision IQ, which is pretty smart as it automatically adjusts the picture based on the content and the ambient lighting of the room. When it comes to colors and stuff, so I don't have any testing equipment for color accuracy. However, from looking at a few reviews online, especially the one from HDTV, they gave it an absolutely glowing review. To my eye, it looks incredible. Colors look fantastic. Contrast is one of the best on any TV right now, and just the overall experience has blown me away. The one downside is that when you do have it towards the top end of brightness, colors can start to skew a little, but I think if you need it to be super bright whilst watching in the day, you're probably not paying too much attention to the colors. It also has a refresh rate of up to 144 Hz, making it really great for gaming. However, I probably won't be connecting up my PC to this anytime soon and doing sort of any fast-paced shooters, but if you have a PS5 or an Xbox, the experience is fantastic. Playing my PS5 on this is an unreal experience. It feels like I'm enveloped in the game, and because it has such a great HDR experience, games that do HDR well look incredible. Again, this isn't something that can really be translated on camera. It needs to be experienced firsthand. It also makes me wish that local multiplayer games were more of a thing, because playing on a TV like this, it's like having two TVs, like when you play multiplayer games. Like when I was playing Overcooked and stuff with friends, it's so much fun. The software on the TV is Google TV, which is fantastic. Even though I have an Apple TV, I surprisingly use the Google TV more, just because it's always there and you can have certain apps in Google TV that you can't have an Apple TV, if you know what I mean. Honestly, one of the best TVs I've ever seen, and $4,500 well spent. I am super happy with this purchase, and from looking at other reviews and stuff online, it also makes me happier about my purchase, because I didn't realize how good this TV was until after I bought it, even though I had done a ton of research before buying it. So yeah, TCL have upped their game. TCL aren't usually known to have premium quality TVs because they're usually targeting the budget price range, the more affordable price range. Now, $4,500, I wouldn't say is budget, but it's definitely affordable relatively when it comes to the size, the features, and everything else that you get with this TV. I think for the money, if you want a massive TV that's pretty much 100 inches, this is a no-brainer. So let me run you guys through the rest of this setup. So this is the lounge area where I have the sofa, the TV and everything. And then this is the sort of dining area. Still very much a work in progress. As you guys can see, there's like nothing on my shelving units. And I also need to get bulbs for this thing. So yeah, I only recently got the shelving unit, dining table here, which I also need to put stuff on. But I do have some of my own prints. These are pictures that I actually shot myself and I've put them up on the wall. Super simple. I've tried to keep it sort of minimal, sort of not minimal. It's kind of just my style. I really like walnut, whites, grays, blacks, and some greenery as well. That tree is a fake tree, by the way. It's a fake olive tree, but it looks very realistic. Let's run you through the rest of the setup. I actually had to get this TV cabinet here custom made, because I couldn't find a TV cabinet that was big enough for the TV. Most of the TV cabinets were smaller in width compared to the TV. Just what a mission. Like, the TV was on the floor for ages because I just couldn't get a TV cabinet anywhere. I also think this does a good job of showing the scale of it. This is a Sonos Arc soundbar, and look how small it looks compared to the TV. Just outrageous. I have a complete Sonos setup here. So the Sonos Arc soundbar, I have the Sonos Sub Mini, which is surprisingly very good. You think because it's the Mini, it wouldn't be that punchy, but it is super punchy. Like, it's incredible. And then behind me, I have the Sonos ones set up as surround sound units. So I have one there, have one over there as well. And yeah, they do such a good job of surround sound with this setup. I think if anyone is interested in a Sonos setup, I would highly recommend it. In an ideal scenario, I'd probably have a speaker on that side, a speaker on this side, a proper AV setup, but I just wanted it to look clean. This just looks cleaner. Obviously it doesn't sound as good as a dedicated setup, but for anyone who has tried a Sonos, they will know, like, Sonos surround systems are very, very capable. They're just so good. The furniture itself is a mix of Pan Homes and Home Center. So obviously they're from Dubai. The sofa is from Pan Home. I think the coffee table as well. And then the chairs and the benches from Home Center. Same with this dining table setup. Ignore the cable down there. That was actually for the light that I had when I was recording. The shelving unit is from IKEA, Billy Bookcase. And yeah, I like this dining table setup. It's quite nice. I actually sometimes work here. I don't actually eat here that much. I only eat here when I have friends around. Usually I'm just sitting on the sofa and I'm eating and watching TV. But yeah, absolutely love this setup. Like I said, it's like having a mini home cinema at home. Just a great setup. Really, really happy with this.